I was definitely an overachiever. I was involved in theater, choir, band. I was the majorette. I was in AP classes, honor roll student. The first quarter of my junior year, I hit my head on the back of a piano. I actually got pushed off of a riser and hit my head on the back of a piano and got a really severe concussion. My name is Stier, and I am more than my brain injury. Unfortunately, my teachers didn't really know what to do. No one had ever talked to them about what do you do when someone hits their head. You know, I wasn't bleeding, I didn't pass out necessarily. So that day was definitely a weird one because after I hit my head, I then had to go to an indoor marching band rehearsal. So loud noises, strobe lights, things that aren't great for someone with a concussion. And I remember telling my band director's assistant that, something's not right. I don't feel good, something's not right. Everyone knew that if you weren't in that rehearsal, you didn't get to do the show. And as the only majorette for the band, that was kind of a big deal, kind of being like the face of the marching band. And I think that pressure from myself and from my coaches and my teachers that were involved pushed me to push myself into an unhealthy situation where it went from just being a slight concussion to something much worse. When I got home and we went to a doctor and they said, take 2 weeks off and you have a mild concussion, you'll be fine. When I went back to school, being told I'd be okay and not being able to read a single page of my textbook, I was confused. The doctor said I'd be okay. So why couldn't I do something so simple? I didn't go back to school full time for the rest of my junior year. I had to relearn how to speak without a stutter or a slur. As someone in the performing arts, I had to relearn how to sing, how to dance, move, be a person. Everything I did that used to be easy, I had to relearn how to do it, and it wasn't easy anymore. Before my brain injury, I knew I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to sing, dance, act, do it all. After my brain injury, I was told by multiple doctors and specialists that something as simple as memorizing a 1-minute monologue probably wasn't going to be feasible for me. I was told that, singing and dancing and being on stage wasn't something that I was realistically going to be able to do. And that crushed me because I didn't know what else I was supposed to do. When I went back to school, my friends didn't understand what had happened to me. They didn't understand why I spoke different, why I acted different. And I think that was hard for them to process. Unfortunately, that turned into some pretty severe bullying. And that came from both peers and students and teachers. To the point where I had to switch schools for my senior year. So that was hard. Despite my brain injury, I've been able to do everything I wanted to do and everything I was told I couldn't do. It might have been a little harder. I might have had to put more work into it than other people. I use the tools that I learned from my brain injury to really thrive and achieve everything I want to achieve. I'm a motivational speaker. I get to speak on topics like leadership and grit, sexual assault, Title IX education. I talk about brain injury education. I get to work with students all across the country, educating them about the importance of understanding brain injuries and the importance of more brain injury education in our schools and putting programs in place. I get to act. I've gotten to travel the country in national tours as a musical theater performer. I've been in a Netflix movie and been on TV. I'm literally doing everything I was told I couldn't do. And every time I achieve something, it's kind of just like don't tell me I can't do something. One of the biggest red flags that I wish myself or someone else would have picked up on is when I went and told one of my assistant coaches, I hit my head and I don't feel right. I couldn't explain what I was feeling, but I said, I don't feel right. I think a lot of times, especially working with teenagers, we think they're being dramatic, you know? But we have to listen to our kids and listen to students because they know themselves better than we do. A lot of students after brain injury are confused, they feel alienated, they definitely go back to school too early. They can damage their brain further by doing these things. But I think the biggest thing is really education. It all stems from that. Yes, we need funding. Yes, we need proper programs. Yes, we need more legislation. But first and foremost, we need to be educating not only our teachers, our faculty members, our coaches about what could cause a concussion, what signs of brain injury look like, and what it looks like to bring someone back. But more importantly, we need to be working on educating and supporting our communities on how to work with students once they do reintegrate back into the classroom, because most likely they're not going to be able to function at 100%. They're going to need support. They're going to need extra time, and they're going to need someone to listen and understand. I wasn't being lazy. I wasn't making excuses. I wasn't lying. I could not do the work because my brain was still trying to heal. And that's what we need to focus on, is educating our teachers and our coaches and our faculty to be able to support students coming back so they don't feel alienated, so they don't feel alone, so they don't fall behind in school, so they don't fail out of their junior year of high school. That's what we need to focus on. My name is Stier, and I am more than my brain injury.